Hey viewers, welcome back to the e-learning platform of the GS College of Commerce, Wada. I am Professor Humaira Kazi and I am going to deal today the Indian economy of the 6th SEM, become 6th SEM. So we had started our first unit. Under the first unit, we had covered the three chapters. Now today we are going to discuss the new one, next chapter, that is the Green Revolution in India. Green Revolution in India. So we will discuss with this aspect today. This chapter, which is called the Green Revolution in India, is also basically called the New Agriculture Policy or New Agriculture Reforms or the New Agriculture Strategy which is adopted. So this agricultural strategy was adopted in India in the decade 1960s, 60s and 70s, and as a result of these new agricultural strategy, the agricultural produce their agricultural productivity and the agricultural production both have increased. So let's see what is the green revolution. So we have seen earlier that the India used to have the primitive agricultural techniques and the primitive methods of cultivation for the agriculture. And these, because of these primitive agricultural techniques and the traditional methods of cultivation, there used to be the less production, less production and the less productivity. So the need was realized to change this traditional method of cultivation, and the new methods of cultivation should be adopted along with the mechanization in the agriculture. So in the 60s and 70s, these changes were taken place in the Indian agriculture, and as a result of that, the Green Revolution occurred in India. So, what is Green Revolution? The Green Revolution refers to the change in the method of cultivation and increasing the agriculture output. Okay, so in India, these Green Revolution, or to which we can say the new agriculture strategy, were introduced, and these new strategy were basically divided into the three main parts, and these three main phases are actually the general phase, which began from the 1947 to 1961, intensive phase, which began from 1961 to 1965, and the third phase, which began from 1965 and it is still continued, which is called the specialized phase. Okay, so these phases brought the changes in the Indian agriculture. The first phase, which is called the general phase, which began from 1947 to 1961, in this phase basically the different institutional reforms were taken place. These institutional reforms were related with the abolition of the zamindari system, the tenancy reforms, similarly the ceiling on the land holding and the consolidation of the land holding. Okay, so these initiatives actually had changed the traditional agricultural setup in the country. The zamindari system was abolished. Okay, just because of the abolition of zamindari system, the tenants actually got the right of cultivation on the land, and the land belonged to them also. Similarly, the tenancy reforms and the ceiling on the land holding, a particular limit is set for the possession of the land for the farm cultivation or the land holding to an individual. Similarly, the consolidation of the land holding. So these were the reforms which were taken place in between 1947 to 1961 under the general phase. The second phase is referred as the intensive phase, and this is actually this intensive phase is under the IADP program, that is the Intensive Agriculture Development Program, and this was the first major experiment by the government in the field of agriculture. And under these phase, basically the package program was used, or package approach was used for the cultivation. The high yielding variety seeds were used for the cultivation, and in a special areas this techniques of cultivation is used. So this is actually the intensive phase. After the intensive phase, the third phase began, and this phase actually, we can call it the green revolution phase. Okay, from 1965 onwards, or this is actually the specialized program. Under this specialized program, the different agricultural development took place, and these different agricultural developments were related with the first one, use of high yielding variety seeds. These are basically the genetically modified seeds, and these genetically modified seeds gave the good these genetically modified seeds give the good level of productivity. The second one is the fertilizer, use of the fertilizers and the pesticides. These are basically the high yielding variety seeds needs the fertilizers as well as the as well as the good water availability. For that purpose, the irrigation facility is promoted in the different areas. The expansion of the irrigation facility was undertaken. Similarly, the establishment of the different governmental institutions for the research and development in the field of the agriculture, or in the field of the different crops. Then the promotion of the multiple cropping, the different multiple cropping were introduced. And after that, the support to the mechanization, the techniques, modern machines were used for the modern machines were used in the agriculture process. And the allied sector of the agriculture, these allied sector of the agriculture are the allied sector of the agriculture which are related with the dairy farming, similarly poultry. So these animal husbandry related husbandry related sector is also improved. So these all efforts are actually come under the specialized program, and these efforts brought the green revolution. So these three phases. So when we are talking about the effects or advantages of the green revolution, the effects and advantages of the green revolution, the effects and advantages are the economic effects and the social effects. So economic effects, the first one over there is the increase in the agricultural production and the agricultural productivity. So increase in the agricultural production, the special crops like the wheat, jawar, bajra, rice, maize, in these crops the agricultural production has increased. Simultaneously, the per hectare productivity of the different crops also increased. So due to the green revolution, the positive effect is in terms of the increase in the agricultural production as well as the agricultural productivity. The second one is there, the increase in the employment. See, since the agriculture is making the progress and there is a good cultivation and there is a good production and the productivity in the different crops. So what we find, the agricultural marketing, simultaneously the transportation of the agricultural goods, all this also developed at a rapid pace. So the allied sectors of agriculture, in the allied sectors of the agriculture, the employment opportunities also developed. So increase in the employment with there is also the increase in the agriculture surplus. So agriculture surplus also increase, because when the crops are produced and they are giving the good production, so the farmers now having the most surplus. Okay, and these extra surplus are sold in the market, and as a result of these extra surplus which are sold in the market, the farmers are having the more money. Then the next one is they are saving in the foreign exchange. Earlier, India used to import the different agricultural goods from the different countries, import the agriculture goods from the different countries, and as a result of that, a good amount of the foreign exchange is used. Since we are now self-sufficient in terms of our in terms of our agricultural produce and the productivity, so a lot of foreign exchange are saved. Then the next one is their extension in the industrial sectors. The different industries are based on the agriculture for their raw material requirement, and these raw material requirements are fulfilled by the agriculture. So the different, that is take the example of the sugar industry, take the example of the oil industry, then the cotton industry, jute industries. All these industries are basically based on the agriculture. So when the agriculture is developed at a good pace, then these industries are also developed rapidly. So extension in the industrial sector, base for the economic development, base for the economic development due to the agricultural produced, the India also also became self-sufficient in terms of its food requirement. India is having the surplus to export these food items to the other countries. So as a result of that, the economic development also takes place, and the farmers also becomes prosper. So these are the economic effects. There are certain social effects also. The development of the capitalistic farmings, basically the new agriculture strategy which was adopted and which brought the green revolution in India. This strategy needs the high yielding variety seeds. This strategy basically needs the irrigation facility and the fertilizers, and these all needs the good amount of capital. So the rich farmers actually utilized or effectively implemented these green revolution, and they have the more surplus. So an elite class of farmers developed, and the poor farmers actually small farmers didn't get the advantage of this new agriculture strategy. So a rift is developed in terms of the rich farmers and the small farmers. The increase in the regional disparity, where if we are talking about the implementation of the green revolution, this green revolution actually implemented especially in the Punjab, Haryana, and the northern part of the UP, and the rest of the India, the effects are not seen tremendously. The effects are seen, but they are not implemented very tremendously as the large scale in terms of these states. So the regional disparity increased. The next one is their effects on the land reforms, and the next is their increase in the rural unemployment because of the agricultural cultivation. Because of the green revolution, we find that the different machines are used in the cultivation process, and as a result of these machines which are used in the cultivation process, so the different labors were removed from the cultivation, and and there is, just because of that, there is actually the rural unemployment which develops, and these rural unemployed actually migrated from the rural areas to the urban areas in terms of job or in terms of employment, and a new class of labor has developed. So these are the effects or advantages of the green revolution. The later part we will see in the next video lecture.